Hey everybody, welcome to Klaus to the Heart here on YouTube. I am Jason Klaus. We certainly thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this week's episode. And I have a very special guest on this episode. One of the true good guys in the world. And not just for me personally, but somebody that's really aspiring to make a positive difference, not just in the lives of the people that he knows and cares about across the globe, especially as we are enduring this pandemic and everything that goes along with it. Would you please welcome Verdie Chagnon to the show? Verdie, thanks for coming.
Thank you.
How we doing, brother?
Hey man, it's a good morning. Got a hot cup of coffee, one of my best buddies, and I can't complain.
All right. Well, I certainly appreciate that, and I too have my coffee this morning.
To you, my friend. To you.
And to you, my brother. Verdie, I wanted to talk to you on the show. Before we sat here and started recording this, I really wanted to, we haven't been able to catch up in quite some time. So we sat here for about 20 minutes before we recorded just to catch up. But the primary reason why I wanted to bring you on the show today was you are doing something that I think needs more spotlight on it. You are really putting yourself out there to try to make a positive difference, especially when there's so much negativity going on in the world with the coronavirus and the major disruption that it's caused all of us, right? So you started this thing called the Slay the Day movement.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, oh, that's a cool idea. But then I started to see more and more people adapt to it and start to incorporate it into their lives. People were tagging you on Facebook, people that I have never even heard of before, but they're using that hashtag Slay the Day. Talk me through what was your inspiration with that whole movement?
So basically, I promised myself at the beginning of 2020 that I was going to put myself out there more. I wanted to do things like start conversations with random people, help more people, just invest myself in putting myself out there in uncomfortable situations to learn how to make uncomfortable comfortable. And I found out I was losing my job because Art Van was going bankrupt and they were closing the doors, and that's a whole different story. Right. So I was going to be laid off, and then all this Corona shit started hitting. Can I swear?
Absolutely. Yep.
Fuck yeah, sweet. So all this Corona shit started happening, and I started seeing other people lose their jobs, getting desperate, not knowing what's happening, some believing it, some not believing it. And next thing you know, the truth is I got into an argument with Holly, and I went for a walk. And I jumped on Facebook Live, and I was just talking, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to let this Corona stuff get me down, losing my job get me down. I'm not going to let whatever's happening get me down. I'm going to slay the day. And then the next thing you know, I went online and I see hashtag slay the day, hashtag like slay the day everywhere. And people are reaching out to me saying your talk the other day really inspired me, and I'm up out of bed this morning. And I thought, man, maybe I could be a voice to help people that feel a little lost and down right now. I have nothing going. I have everything against me right now. The only thing I have is a beautiful wife and 2 kids, and I am the richest man in the world. So I wanted to go out and reach out to people and let them know that even though this is a really dark time, that you can slay the day, which means basically to me, you got to kill the day before it kills you. I always say that so many people defeat themselves before they even brush their teeth in the morning, you know? Too many people don't believe in their own gifts. You have so many people holding you down or telling you can't do this, when you should be able to tell yourself that I can do anything as long as I put the gamble and believe in myself. So sometimes you need one person just to let you know you're special. And then the next thing you know, it sparks. And then it becomes more contagious than this virus. So the goal of the Slay the Day movement was basically to spread love to everybody and let them know that they're special in some way. And to not hide their special, unique abilities or who they are or what they believe in. You need to look deep down inside and tell people or yourself, hey, I'm okay. I'm going to be okay. And it's going to be okay. I mean, like I said, so many people doubt themselves. Like when I was growing up, I was always basically told, I'm not going to say who, but I was told like, hey, it's never good enough. Hey, it's never going to amount to anything. You know, don't chase your dreams. Just do the go to college, go do this, go do that. And I fell for it and I failed at it because I didn't chase after what I loved. So now I'm basically at a weird place in my life where so much weird stuff is happening, and I want to rise out of it, you know, like a phoenix out of the ashes, and be reborn, and then help other people. I want to spread that love and let people know. And I'm rambling.
No, but you're absolutely right. And what's cool is people are starting to see a side of you that I've known for 10 plus years. And you and I have had many a talk on a personal level where you know, we've inspired each other, we've picked each other up in low times, bad times, and I've always maintained that you are just one of the greatest people that I have ever had the privilege of calling my friend. And now with this movement that you started, more people are starting to see that, and more people are it obviously resonates. And that was one of the reasons why I started the whole close to the heart thing.
I love
First,
it.
it was, you know, first to the YouTube, and then I started my own podcast. And but it was to let people know, number one, they are not alone. Number two, yes, bad times come, but you have the ability to pick yourself out of it if you choose to. Because I'm sure in your life, you know, whether it's, you know, your shoot job or even in the wrestling business, which is how we met, was through professional wrestling, which has kind of been the common theme for my last few guests that I've had on here. But people like to play the role of victim, right?
Yeah,
You know, the whole damn world is against me, and blah blah blah. You and I, we do not subscribe to that philosophy, and to see people respond to what you're trying to do, and I believe that you know, knowing you like I do, your intentions are as pure as gold, man. You don't want anything out of it other than people to be their absolute best. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah. I guess like, can I explain kind of like how the Slay the Day movement works a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
So I started it with after I said that I did the hashtag Slay the Day thing. My buddy Sean Stockmeyer actually made shirts out of nowhere to put up for sale, just to inspire people, because people wanted to see it, you know. And any of the money that is brought from the shirts, we want to reinvest back into Slay the Day, you know, because we're starting a website and everything. But so I was trying to figure out, how can I get people to jump onto this and start inspiring themselves. So I did a 100 push-ups, 100 sit-ups, 100 squat challenge, but not all at once, you know, to build yourself up, to teach people how to build themselves up. You know, like you're not going to hit 100 push-ups right off the whip. I mean, unless a couple have done that, and I'm really impressed. But I wanted to teach people that a challenge is something that everyone loves. Everyone likes to try to do a challenge and challenge themselves. So if you can challenge yourself to do these push-ups, sit-ups, and squats and reach that 100, then you did a small goal, and you know what that feels like. So then I use that to inspire people to get going. And as you're inspired, it's not so much about the push-ups, the sit-ups, and all that, though. It's really about getting to that point and realizing I can do something and I can help others. I look at the world like this. There's sheep and there's wolves. Everyone says that, right? But there's a third category people don't forget about, and that's the farmer. The farmer raises the sheep and protects the sheep from the wolves. I look at myself and someone like you as a farmer. We're always have good intentions. There's never a negative in it. We're always trying to better things to progress and to grow. So I don't know if you ever heard that. I'm going to copyright that. I'm just kidding. But
I certainly would. That's incredible, because no, I have not heard that.
Yeah,
You've heard the sheep and the wolf, but nobody gives a shit about the farmer. So I can, man, when you just said that, that got me right here. I was like, wow, I've never thought of it like that.
Yeah, someone was talking to me the other night, and it came to my head like, I don't want to be a wolf. Because a wolf's an asshole. He takes everything. He hunts down sheep. He uses them. Sheep, they sit there. They don't listen. They're lazy. They just graze all day, and they need to be protected. But if you're a farmer, you're a leader. You're trying to make something better. You're trying to maybe change a wolf into a farmer or change a sheep into a farmer. You know, you need more farmers to keep raising and growing and creating a better world. So the Slay the Day thing with the workout was just a challenge to get people to think. And now I'm watching people use the challenge and push it out there and inspire others and become farmers. And I love it.
So since you started this movement, what's been the most surprising thing that you've gotten back, whether it be a message of some sort, somebody that you may have not have heard from in quite some time? What's been the one thing that has cemented to you, I'm onto something, and this is working?
I think the outreach I've gotten, it's mentally helped me grow, and it's not only helping other people, but it's helping me. It's almost like therapy. Mm-hmm. I love to see people better themselves. It's amazing. That's why, like, when I'm in a locker room, I try to be a locker room leader and help people better their career in wrestling and stuff like that. Or when I'm at work, when I was at work, helping people do better things. And I don't need a thank you, you know? That's the thing. Like, I don't need a thank you. All I need is to see that you're actually trying. Mm-hmm. That's the most important thing. I've gotten a lot of people I've never even talked to. I've had messages of thank yous and all that, and I appreciate every single one. I want everybody to know I appreciate that. But you need to be thanking yourself because you actually went after it.
That's what makes you so awesome, man. Because a lot of people, when they go down this road and they embark on this journey, you know, their specific journeys as to, yeah, I want to make a difference, I want to make a positive impact. I found myself questioning their motives, because when they don't get that attaboys and, you know, the thank yous and stuff like that, they feel like I don't know. I don't want to say it makes them feel like it's not important, but at the same time, they want that
entitlement.
That, yes, thank you. Yeah, like they want the world to know they did this.
Look at me.
Yes, yeah. You are so far on the opposite side of that spectrum.
Yeah, the only time
you've always been like that.
The only time I want you to look at me is when I'm kicking ass in the ring. You know, that's what I want. Put that on me. But just, you know, I said, like, it takes my dad told me this. My dad. He said it takes one. I don't know who told me this. Someone told me this. It takes one voice to start a movement or a revolution. You know, and I was screaming inside forever, and now I'm screaming out loud to the world to say, hey, listen, guys, we're in dark times. We're all struggling. You know, we're all unemployed. No one can find jobs. We can't get within 6 feet of each other. But I feel closer to people now than I have ever felt in my entire life. Because we're all in it.
How much of your childhood, because you and I, you know, we've been friends for a long time, and I know a little bit of your backstory. Pardon me. How much of your childhood influenced what you're trying to do now? Because you just got done saying, you know, when you were younger, you were screaming on the inside, trying to find something that related to you, something that you were passionate about. And I know in some aspects, professional wrestling is a big part of that, right? But how much of your upbringing and how much of your challenges that you've met with inspired you to who and what you are now, and more importantly, this Slay the Day thing?
Man, it's really hard for me to talk about my childhood, man. It's not like it was bad. I was taken care of great. My mom and dad did a great job. They gave me everything I needed. But it just, okay. So fuck it. I'm just gonna say it. I never have opened up about this to anybody.
Verdie, listen, man. If you don't want to, you don't have to. It's
I'm not
totally up to you.
protective anymore. It's fine. It's just how it is, man. Like, okay, growing up, my dad and I bumped heads really bad. We still do. I love my dad to death. I love him. Don't get me wrong, but like, it was never good enough. I always felt like whatever I did was never good enough. My mom was always very protective of me. Like a little weird at times. Like she'd have to, like, when I would go to stores and stuff like that, she would like check my pants to make sure that the size fit perfect, and like pull on the waistband, like weird shit like that. My dad was very my way or the highway kind of attitude. Like I remember a couple of things, like first play of football, I fucking ran this amazing run, right? I got knocked down, I was on threes, just crawling, still going, I got hit, right? After the game, went up to him and goes, Dad, you see that first play? He goes, yeah, but you could have got further. It's like, so anything I've ever done has never been good enough. And I promised myself when I got older, I would not ever be like that. I would not get upset about stupid shit. And don't get me wrong, sometimes it comes out. Everyone has those days.
Sure.
But it's just really tough. Like, I took this Dale Carnegie class one time, and my dad forced me to do it because he said I had no confidence. So I did this Dale Carnegie class, and the class basically is to have effective communication and to raise your confidence. And I graduated that class with the highest honors. I kicked ass in it. Because I knew who I was. He didn't give me the time to figure out who I was. He just saw, when I was younger, I was kind of rebellious because I didn't want to do what they wanted. I wanted to be me. Why do you think I'm covered in tattoos with long hair and I don't give a shit about what people think of me? It's because I'm proud of who I am. And sometimes I don't feel like he was proud of me. So in that Dale Carnegie class, at the end of it, you get to stand up and someone from your family comes up and they have to say something positive about you, right? So one girl gets up with her dad, and dad says, I'm so proud of my daughter. She did amazing. Another guy gets up and says, I'm so proud of my son. He was excellent in his speech and all this. I get up there, my dad gets up there, and he says, it's finally nice to have a conversation with my son. Which is like a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him. I don't, because you are all a product of what you were raised. He came from a family of 12 in a small town, had to fight for his food at the dinner table. His dad was a mortician, never had anything good, stole money from him. So my dad is influenced by life choices that were out of his control. Now, it's getting to that point, though, where it's, do I keep putting up with it, or do I let it go? And I'm kind of letting it go at this point. I love him, but I don't have to let that influence me anymore or feel scared of it. And, when you get around someone that makes you feel this big, it's really tough sometimes.
Yeah.
And I don't want to feel this big. I want to feel larger than life. I'm going to be selfish at that. I want to influence people. I don't want to make people. I want people that feel like they're oddities and outcasts to feel like they're special and that they have a place. Ooh, I didn't mean to open that up.
I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't.
It's been inside for so long, man, and it's just time to get it out. I can't hide it or protect it. That's how I feel. It needs to come out, and I shouldn't feel like I feel wrong saying it, but I shouldn't feel wrong saying it. Right. And please, anybody, my dad is a great man. He busted his ass. He took care of me. He raised me the best that he could do, that he thought was right. And I can't blame someone for that. I cannot put him down or blame him for that. I thank my dad for everything he's done. And I'll still to this day try to get along with him because that's the right thing to do. And we're family. But I don't have to put myself in positions to make myself feel bad anymore.
Would you say that the way that your relationship with him has inspired the kind of relationship that you have with your kids now?
Yeah, I believe so. I want my kids to, I'm tough on them. Don't get me wrong. I don't want them to be lazy. I want them to know the world is hard. I want them to know the world is tough and nobody's going to give you a handout. You have to work for everything you go after. My parents have always been there for me when I've slipped and fallen, but I get reminded about it. when my kids, and they slip and fall, I'm not going to remind them because that was a moment in time, you know, and we're only given so many moments. You know, you choose to remember which ones. There's an important thing that I tell everybody. Like, right now, this conversation with you means a lot to me because you're using time from your life that you could be spending with other people or doing something that means something to you. And for you to spend that time talking to me means you're using moments you'll never get back. The hands go forward. They don't go back, bud. Right. So it's very important to me to let people know when we talk that I say, thank you for the conversation. Thank you for your time. Anytime in wrestling, when I ask people to watch my videos, I always say thank you because I just took an hour out of your life. That's your time that you're given. You know, you're only allowed so much. You never know when that clock's going to stop ticking or the battery runs out. So that's why I want to say thank you, Jason, right now for all the times we've had.
No thanks needed. I mean, I appreciate that, and I know what you're saying, but I mean, absolutely no thanks needed. When I reached out to you and I said I want to bring you on the show, you know, it was for a number of reasons. Obviously, the Slay the Day thing, we've talked about that, but this is the first time, the longest period of time that you and I have had an opportunity to sit down and talk on the phone versus actually seeing your beautiful face on the screen, right? Let's talk about your family for a little bit. Let's switch gears. Your lovely wife Holly, your beautiful kids Isla and Colton. They're doing okay with everything as far as the quarantining and all the other crap going on in the world right now.
Well, yeah, they're doing okay. I mean, like our house isn't huge, so I'm kind of a wide guy, so when I'm in a room and they all come in a room, it's literally filled. So it gets a little claustrophobic at times. And
sure,
we all try to find things to keep ourselves busy, but the house becomes a fucking prison at times. So
I can understand that.
Yeah, and when it rains, it becomes even worse because you're trapped inside, and it is what it is. Holly's good. Earlier this year, or last year, she was diagnosed with trigeminal neuralgia, which is a chronic pain disease. So the fifth nerve in her brain is something's wrong with it. And it shoots shots of pain down her face here, and about here. And it's they call it suicide disease because sometimes the pain gets so excruciating, a lot of people take their lives. So we did I'm wearing the shirt right now, actually. It's crazy. We did a big benefit show for her, and we raised money to help get her pain and everything taken care of. And I'm getting text messages. I better turn this beeper off. Sorry, bud.
I can't even hear it.
Oh, I can, though. It's annoying. So we did a big benefit show for her, and my buddy.
That I heard.
Yeah, tell me it's not hot anymore. My buddy Shogun, he's a Impact wrestler. He just got signed by him. Name drop. He taught me about the word synergy, putting energy out and getting energy back. You put negative energy out, you get positive energy back. So my whole life I've been doing that, not knowing that that's the word. And I put all this positive energy out, and then we did this big benefit show, and all these people volunteered their time. And they ended up raising over $3,000 to help her.
Wow. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's hard not to hold tears in, you know. But so we did that, and she's doing pretty good. She got her MRI. They said there's definitely some damage up there. The next step is to go to the neurologist. But the issue is, you know, the insurance and everything's shut down. Like it's crazy. So she's doing the best she can. She takes Kratom to help with the pain, but all the stores are closed, so we're trying to find Kratom, and it's okay. Colton, he and I had an amazing wrestling match on Facebook Live, so we're keeping him busy. Isla's big into art. She's been learning to do makeup. She was the referee. She called it right down the middle.
Right.
I think she did. I think there was some cookies exchanged for a quick win. So there's a rematch coming up. So we're keeping ourselves busy. My mind doesn't stop. It just goes and goes and goes like a gerbil on a wheel, man. So I'm always coming up with stuff, you know. So I'm trying to just keep my family sane as much as I can, you know. It is what it is, though, man. People have to just realize this is what's happening, and you can't control it. The thing they talk about in Dale Carnegie is a lot of people stress over things they can't control.
Right.
So why freak out about something you can't control until it really affects you to a point where you have to try to control it?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't stress over things.
More people need to adopt that philosophy, right? Because I mean,
easier said than done.
You know people that get pissed off because the sun isn't out that day, or it's colder than it should be at this time of year. It is what it is. I mean, getting all bent out of shape is not. You don't change the weather because you're pissed off, or it may inconvenience you. So man, Verdie, you're saying everything that I know you as a person, and it's phenomenal that other people are starting to see that side of you.
I want to listen, man. I want to be in a world where it's so easy to be negative. You know how hard it is to find positivity in this world?
Yes, I do.
Positive? My dad always said this, and I always thought he was full of shit, but he said sometimes you got to fake it to make it. And that started making sense to me. You have to sometimes fake it to believe that and then it becomes real after you do it for so long. Like sometimes when you don't want to go to the gym, you just show up and start doing it, and then next thing you know, you're fucking killing it. Yeah. Like I wake up in the morning and I look in the mirror sometimes and I have a conversation with myself and I say, well, Verdun, what are you going to do today? You going to be a stupid son of a bitch and be mad about the world? Or are you going to fucking kill it? Are you going to slay the day? Are you going to wake up and do something positive? At least one thing today. What can you do to inspire somebody today? That's how I live.
Well, it's obviously working for you.
I want it to work for others, not for me. I want it to work for others.
But yes, that's true. But it's working for you too.
I see.
Because you are inspiring yourself at the same time that you're inspiring other people, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sure if you're anything like me, and I know that you are,
hell yeah,
you start feeling good about yourself when you know that you are making that kind of positive impact, you know.
And if I'm like you, we're both very sexy, attractive men.
Well, I mean, let's.
Just saying, we're taking ladies though. Thank you.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Sorry. Yeah, this train has done left the station. Sorry about your luck.
Toot.
Verdie, let's switch gears and let's talk about.
Put more coal in the engine.
Let's talk about your wrestling career. You are obviously making a name for yourself, an even bigger name for yourself than you did a while ago. You're starting to make tracks. You and I had a conversation, probably a couple of years ago at this point.
2 years ago.
You laid out your goals, your dreams. You came to me, you know, at the time you were working with my promotion, and you had a very difficult conversation with me, or at least that's how it was presented. And I would say that you made the right decision because you are becoming one of those names on the independent circuit here in the state of Michigan. And you are well on your way, man. And but before we started recording here, I don't know if I can say this or not, but you had an opportunity to be on a big stage.
Oh, you can talk about it.
Okay. You were scheduled to be on Fight TV, correct?
Okay.
And then everything started shutting down. MLB shut down, NCAA shut down, and the wrestling business, you know, obviously had to follow suit because we are in an industry where we perform in front of a live crowd. WrestleMania is happening this weekend in an empty building. Tell me, because you told me your goal is to go to Japan. Right.
Not now.
No. I mean, but back then, that was your goal. That was one of the things that you wanted to do in the time that you were wrestling, correct?
Yes, sir.
So I mean, are you happy with, I mean, aside from everything being shut down right now, are you happy with the decision that you made? Because I'm sure you've had a number of opportunities that you wouldn't necessarily have had or even known about had you not taken a chance on yourself. Would that be fair to say?
Absolutely. I'll never forget that conversation, dude. I was so scared. Holly had to talk to me because I didn't want to lose a friendship. That always comes first. And I was like, oh my God, how do I even tell him this? Like, I don't. But then when I called you, you had a little heat, but then you were mad because you were losing me, not at me.
No, no,
And
certainly not.
you said something to me that I remember. I don't know if it's that conversation or the one before, but you said, you don't know how good you are.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
Because you didn't.
yeah, I'm going to cry, bro. It's just like, I'll never forget that, Jay, because when I first came into MWO, you weren't sure of me. I was an indie guy, and you were very protective because you guys get heat, and I still don't understand to this day what the fuck that's all about, and I don't care. I still love you guys, and I put you guys over. And after that conversation, I told myself, I'm not gonna let him down. I'm not gonna fucking let him down. I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna do it how I should do it. And was it now? How long ago was that? How long ago did we have that conversation? That was probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, probably somewhere around there.
So I left, and I looked at the. This is the truth. I watched Wrestle Kingdom. The Young Bucks came out, and Nick Jackson gets in the camera. He does his pose. He looks at the camera right into it, and I swear to God, he's looking me right in the eyes, and he goes, "I do this for a living." And I was like, I said out loud, "I'm gonna do it for a living too, Nick." Like looking right at it. And that fire was sparked. And I listened to interviews with them, and they said the moment we stopped listening to others and we did what we wanted to do was when we made it. And that's what I started doing. I started doing that Wrestler Logan. It was cool, but it didn't really resonate with who I was, you know? And then Briar Wellington, who trained me, called me and he goes, "I got this idea. I want you to come into my group and I want you to be a king." And I'm like, oh my God, what am I going to do with this? Like, I argued with him for a while, and then I just said, fuck it, whatever. I put myself out there. I need to try new things. So I dropped that wrestler gimmick, and I became the Dread King Logan. And he dressed me up in all this gold shit the first time I came out, and I was like, I looked like Princess Logan. So I said, listen, Brian, if we're gonna do this, I gotta do it my way, bro. I gotta do what I feel's right. And he's like, all right, go for it. So I made like these Conan crowns and all this shit. And he goes, you know why I made you a king? I go, why? He goes, you just look like a fucking barbarian in real life. And I was like, okay, then the Dread King was born. And ever since then, dude, it's been an awesome roller coaster ride, man. Reaching out to people, getting noticed, working on my promos. I mean, I sent you a pretty funny one I did the other day. You can't.
Loved it.
It was like the weirdest thing I've ever done, but it felt good. And now I'm having fun with it and doing how I want to do it. And I'm proving to people that I am that good. And I'm starting to believe it. But I got a saying, man. It's called stay hungry, but stay humble. Nobody has to know how hungry you are. Nobody has to know how much you want it. Just keep a smile on your face, listen, keep your mouth shut, and do the best you can. But secretly, just you don't gotta let them know you're coming for that ass. I'm taking everything they said I can't fucking have. And I want to fucking be the best in Michigan, and I want to be the best in the world. And I'm starting to believe that I could possibly do that. And I don't want to ever lose my humbleness, though. Because guys like you and Levi Blue and Briar and Roughhouse Rob, all of them have put stake and money into me. And I'm never going to embarrass anybody. I'm never going to put myself to that level where I think I'm the best. I listened to an interview with Aleister Black, and he said something that's kept me so grounded. It was with Lillian Garcia, and he said, when I got into the wrestling, I promised myself whatever level I would get to, I would be happy with. And I would never be disappointed, because if that's the best it's going to be, then I'm going to make the situation the best it can be. And that's always stuck with me. So I try not to set my goals so far away that I can't achieve them. So the Japan idea was great, but after we got off, I wrote a list on the wall on a dry erase board with little goals. Get invited to a show. Get paid. Stand out. Make your promos count. Just little things. Everyone wants, whenever you ask a guy, everyone's like, I want to be WWE World Champion. I don't want to be WWE World Champion. NWA Champion? Awesome. MIW Champion? Yes, maybe. You know, I would love to step in the ring with someone like Hammerstone and go one-on-one with them, who's MIW champion right now. I would love to step in ROH ring. You know, you need to set the goals that are achievable. Fuck, WWE's great and all, but it's almost unachievable at times, you know? Like, I've seen people have mental breakdowns from not getting to that point. It's insane to me. So my goal right now is to be top guy in Michigan. I want to be the best. I want to be known. I want to be invited to other shows. I've recently been invited to Wisconsin, Ohio, all those places. So you start small, and it takes time. Everybody wants it overnight. If you're not at that level, you gotta. Like I said, the hands of time don't go backwards; they go forward. So make every moment count to get yourself to a better place through time. I don't know if that all makes sense, but
no, it makes perfect sense. And the one thing that I took from that, what you just said for the last 5 minutes, the one thing that stuck out with me or to me about what you said was you are having fun doing what you're doing, and you are starting to believe in what you're doing, and that makes all the difference in the world. Macho Man Randy Savage, one of the greatest of all time, right? Everybody knows who Randy Savage is or was. He said in a promo, probably unscripted, probably when he was out of his mind, but the cream rises to the top. Always. The cream always rises to the top. But you know as well as I do, you've been involved in the wrestling business for quite some time now. If it's not an extension of who you are and what you believe, you're not going to put 110% in it. You may tell yourself that you are, but it's the little things. It's the little nuances that you're putting in there. That promo, and I understand we can't show it or whatever. That promo that I watched late last night, was the best piece of business that I have seen you do in quite some time.
And that was just because
you could tell you were having fun with it. It was supposed to be serious, but you had fun with it.
Yeah.
And, the camera doesn't lie. You can tell when somebody is just going through the motions. I talked to the Steel Twins on the last episode. And that's actually as we're recording this, it'll be available later on.
Go watch it.
Huh?
Go watch it, people.
Yeah. I asked them if they had ever been assigned a piece of business that they were not wholeheartedly invested in. I think you guys do something that you did not want to do. And Alex, said, no, everything that you asked us to do, we did to the best of our ability. And I wholeheartedly, believe that, because we could have given them a piece of shit, right? And they would have made the absolute best of it. And that's why people, flock to them. They know who the Steel Twins are. You are the same thing. And, the Dark Star Logan thing, when you were here, in my opinion, was just the tip of the iceberg, because I was on the outside looking in, and I was following you on Facebook, and we talked every so often, but I could see through pictures like when Kim Buckman, amazing person, takes amazing pictures.
Oh my God,
she's fantastic. Now, I could see through her lens, through her pictures, that you were starting to come into your own. And,
confidence.
And it was really fascinating for me, just through still pictures, not even video, but you could tell that you were more invested in the King gimmick. Now, you know, you've been doing this for a while now as the Dread King. You could tell, man, your presentation, the way you present yourself, you could tell that you are wholeheartedly invested in this thing. And I think it's absolutely amazing, man. The sky is the absolute limit.
Well, everyone says you can't play wrestler, and I think when I started, like, it took me like years to realize what that meant. And like, as soon as you invest like your real personality into something, then it becomes like fun and real. Like if you're just going out there and running through the motions, it's like you can't. I don't know how to describe it. It's like it's not fun. It becomes a job.
Right.
But when you start having fun and not really, you care, but you're not caring at the same time. That's when it becomes like, oh shit. Like, to me, when I do promos and stuff, I like to see what I can get away with.
Mm-hmm.
Like right now I'm doing I'll let you know right now, I'm doing a Vote Logan for Supreme Leader of the World campaign. There's nowhere to vote though, which is even funny. So you know, like, that's what I'm doing right now. Like so look, when the Dread King started, he was like this ruthless son of a bitch, is mean, I'll beat you up, and but there's like a million of them. So I started thinking, well, what can I do to be a little different? So then I started doing these hating things with the Dread King. Like, I have a video where I sit there and I go, hello, I'm the Dread King Logan. And you know what I hate? When you order 2 double cheeseburgers, add pickle, or no pickle, add mayo, and you open up the bag and you get 2 medium fries and a kid's toy, and it's for a girl and you're a boy. Things like that. And that's like real life shit to me. That's funny, you know, the irony in it. That's, you know, and people seem to dig it. And it's even funnier to me when you see this barbarian king doing real life shit, but he thinks he's above everybody else, but he's still on the same fucking level.
Right.
Like, the Dread King to me is a guy that believes he created the entire world because he's so full of his shit, and he can't control the entire world. And now he has to try to destroy all of his creations, but he can't. It's like a weird conundrum. You're stuck in something you love, and you want to destroy it, but you can't, because then you'd end up destroying yourself. It's just stuff like that is funny to me. So I want
amazing.
A good time with wrestling. I want to make people think, like, you know, and then when I get in the ring, that's when I shine, man. You know, I give it out just as much as I take it.
Right.
I had a match with Isaiah Bronner, and we're known to fuck each other up. And he overhead belly to belly suplexed me on the outside of the ring to the floor. These are wood floors. But he did it on the side where nobody could see it. So during that match, I said, do it again in front of everybody. And he ended up doing it again. And I took it again. And it was brutal. But I want the fans to see and enjoy the show. That's what I'm doing it for, is for them. Because I want them to know that I'm out here sacrificing myself for them. And I'm okay with that because it makes me feel special. You know?
It's pretty awesome. What's your opinion on the current product as far as what's being presented on television in general? And I don't mean the last 4 or 5 weeks, because everybody's in empty buildings. Raw, SmackDown is at the Performance Center. AEW is in an empty building. I haven't seen the NWA thing in a while, but what's your opinion of the current product?
I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this, bro. For whoever watches this, I don't watch wrestling. No, because I found out as I watch old stuff. I watch old British wrestling. I watch old 80s wrestling. I watch old Japanese wrestling, because I find that if I watch modern day stuff, it ends up influencing me in the ring. And I want to be Logan. I don't want to be, like, for a while, Pete Dunne is my favorite, but then I realized I started becoming Pete Dunne, or as I like to call it, Pete Verdun. But I found out that if I watch the shit, it ends up killing me. So I watch a lot of indie guys. I love watching indie guys. Now, NWA, I love it, though, because of the studio quality. I've watched a couple of their episodes, and I know I'm supposed to be updated on all the... You should be watching it in case you ever get signed. You know who's what and what's going on. But, again, I say it influences me too much, and I end up changing my style, and I'm not... I'm not true to me then. I'm true to what they're doing, and I'm falling into what they want. And I don't want to be a copy. I want to be an original. You know, you should never want to be a copy. It's really, I get Triple H chants all the time. You know, I've gotten Rhino chants. I've gotten things like that. So I try to end up changing that and getting rid of that. But it's hard. I mean, like I said, man, you can't be a copy. You got to be to be noticed. You got to stand out. I messaged a guy named Gregory Iron. Had an amazing match with. He has cerebral palsy. One arm has cerebral palsy. He has an amazing mind. Like, oh my God. So I messaged him. I said, what's something I can do to stand out? And he said, look at the guys on the indies right now. Become relatable. So I thought, how can I make a king relatable? And that's when I started doing the hate videos and the Vote for Logan videos and stuff like that. Because I think humor is like the best medicine, and you can relate to humor. So to see a king who's supposed to be all serious and barbarian-like making himself look like a joke is the funniest thing to me. You know, because when you look at celebrities and stuff like that, they're just people that think they're on pedestals. So Logan is just a person that is a king that puts himself on a pedestal, but he's just kind of the same as everybody. He has his own problems too, but they're just crazy problems, like trying to take over the world. I mean, who can relate to that?
It's fantastic.
It's
absolutely
funny.
Fantastic. It is. It is. And the world needs more humor. Well, but when that bell rings, it's no longer a laughing thing, right? You're in there legitimately, and you want to be the absolute best in your
I'm gonna fuck you up, that's for sure. But I expect it back. I'll tell you, man, I had a match with Matt Justice. He's a GCW guy. Holy fuck, man, I learned so much in that. I've never been chopped so hard, but I've never thrown chops back so hard. And we fought through everywhere. I mean, everywhere. You can, and by the way, you can go to Smart Mark Video and buy Horseland DVDs, and I'm on them. So if you'd like to go there, and you can also download them, please support indie wrestling. Support indie wrestling. Matt Justice, man, I learned a ton from him. Congo Kong, I'm name dropping, but I don't give a fuck. These guys helped me out. Congo Kong, amazing. Matt Justice, amazing. Aaron Orion, amazing. Isaiah Bronner, Tommy Vendetta. All these guys that I've stepped in the ring with have elevated me to a whole new level. And like I said, hands of time go forward, they don't go back. So try to learn and get as much information in as possible. I've had amazing matches with some of these guys, and I'm super proud of what I've done so far. I'm very humbled, though, by the feedback I get from guys, too, because when I first started, I thought, man, I'm the drizzling shits. I suck. And then I realized maybe I'm not so bad. And I really love wrestling, man. It's just changed my life. The only, like, the two things in this world, the three things in this world that I fucking cherish the most is wrestling, my wife and kids, and friends like you.
Well, I certainly appreciate that. That really means a lot.
Well, you mean a lot.
It really does.
You get a handful of people in this lifetime, right? The ones that matter stay in your hand. The rest fall through like sand. You hold on to the ones that you love, the rocks. The sand can fuck off.
You mentioned, you threw a bunch of names out that you worked with, name dropping, whatever, doesn't matter. Two names that you said registered. One was Congo Kong.
Yeah.
I have not met him. I have not had any affiliation. I have not had any correspondence with him. But I know he was with TNA Impact and a lot of these bigger, nationally televised organizations. But my understanding, takes such amount of time to work with guys on the independent circuit. And I wish more big names did that or had the ability to do that. And I have not heard one bad thing about that guy. He's a tremendous character. He's a tremendous worker. On the other side of that, you mentioned Aaron Orion.
Yeah.
And Aaron Orion, for me personally, obviously, I have a little bit more personal stake with him, because he started in the MWO, and to see him on Monday Night Raw, and to see him, you know, all over the place, really, him and Jack Price, and it's amazing. It's amazing that wrestling, professional wrestling, let's, you know, whatever, gets such a flack for being fake, or, you know, whatever. It's not real. In many aspects, there is not a more real activity in the world.
Oh my God, it's physical as fuck.
It is, but on the other side of that, the friendships and the camaraderie that is shared in a locker room. You hear horror stories of the politics and everything like that, but when you cut through all the bullshit, you know, you use the analogy of a handful of sand, right? You know, you come in contact with so many people in the wrestling business, whether they're in-ring performers, backstage, the promoters or whatever. You hold on to the ones that you share a common bond with.
Right.
That's real. You know what I mean? Some of my closest friends I came in contact with because of fake pro wrestling. You being one of them. So to see you really, coming into your own, you're nowhere near your peak yet. You know, I told you that. I told you that 2 years ago. You don't know how good you are. And now with this, the King thing, which I absolutely love. I think it's great. And Verdie, the sky is the absolute limit, and the future is in the palm of your hands once we get past this, all this shutdown and shit like that. But once
you say the sky's the limit, but the King wants the universe.
Okay, well, fair enough.
Okay. Listen, I've made some amazing friends through this, man. Freytown and I have been friends forever. And it's funny, like some of my closest friends are guys I did not like the first time I met them. Freytown, Electric Eric Ely, Asmodeus. Those are three guys that, and I liked you when I met you. So, but like those three guys, I didn't understand when I first met them, and I openly apologized to each one of them for judging them when I first met them. And now, last night I talked to Asmodeus on the phone. We did a shot just because we're brothers. You know, Ely, the kid gets a lot of shit for looking good and having a good. He's just got it. He's awesome. And I realized I need to slow down sometimes here and think more here. And, I openly apologized to all three of those guys the first time I fucking really I didn't like them when I first met them. And then I was like, maybe it's not them. Maybe it's me. And I realized it was me. And I got to know those guys, and I love all three of those dudes. And I'm saying that here because I want to put them over as my friends. Those guys I will do anything for. Just like I will for you, your family. Like I told you, man, I got rocks, and I don't let them go because they keep me grounded. There's certain people that are my buddies, and I don't give a fuck what anybody says about them. I'm always going to get their backs. That's just how it is.
The world needs more people like Verdie Chagnon, that's for sure.
Oh, I don't know, bro.
Well, as we wrap up here on this week's episode, is there places where people can find you on social media? Now is your plug time.
Yeah, so on Twitter, The Dread Logan, at The Dread Logan, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The Dread King Logan. What other platforms are there? I think that's about all the platforms. I try to keep it universal at The Dread King Logan because there's not many people that want that name.
Right.
Kick their ass if they try to take it. So, check out my stuff, man. I just give me feedback. Let me know. Go vote for The Dread King Logan, even though there's nowhere to vote. I don't know, man. I'm just having fun with it. I'm just trying to kick ass. I still want my match with you.
Oh,
my bucket list, man. It's on my. I legitimately have a list somewhere with the Basher.
there's a lot more matches behind me than there is in front of me at this point. I'm afraid, but you never say never in this business, right?
I'll butt my ass off for you. You don't got to do shit but a leg drop.
Verdie, it's been an absolute pleasure, my brother, and
Hey,
I
thank you.
wish you and your family the absolute best. It's very good to see you on here. We haven't been able to see each other in quite some time, so it was good to actually take some time today and actually look at you while we're talking, and you can really tell, you mean every word that comes out of you, and being able to actually see you is, an absolute pleasure on this end of the camera. And I wish you nothing but the absolute best.
I want. Can you look me right in the eyes, Jason?
I am right now.
I want you to know everything you've done for me. Thank you, and I love you.
I love you, brother. Absolutely. So with that, look for the Dread King Logan all over social media, and give him your feedback, because he's one of the good guys.
The only way I'll get
crazy world of professional wrestling and beyond.
Yeah, because if you don't, I'll find you.
All right, very good. For everybody else, thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Close to the Heart. We certainly appreciate all of your support and feedback. You can find us on Facebook at Close to the Heart, as well as Twitter, or drop us an email, closetotheheart@gmail.com. So with that, Verdie, thank you so much, brother. We will be in touch. And for the rest of you, we will see you next time right here on Close to the Heart.